If you've been property investing for a number of years and you've still been asking yourself, how comes it seems as though it doesn't work? And yes, I'll agree with you, for an overwhelming majority of people, property investing does not work. And how comes it kind of does work for a small select few, then this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down and outlining the clear, exact reason why it is that property investing seems to not work for the overwhelming majority of people across the globe. And you might be asking yourself, well, Samuel, what makes you qualified to actually answer this question? And the answer to that is fairly simple. I've been asking myself this question for the last 2 decades. Firstly, in 2005, when I was 19 years old and started my first full-time job as an estate agent, and I would notice that some landlords would come in who literally had the smallest portfolios but would cash flow way beyond all these other landlords, and other landlords would come in who had larger portfolios but for some reason weren't generating the same amount of income. Fast forward to 2015, and then I literally built my own property sourcing business, finding property assets that made sense and stacked up for other investors, and sold and traded them over to those people. And since then, I've been able to help thousands of landlords through means of the property networking event that I used to host, as well as hundreds of landlords through means of my property coaching programs. So it's through that experience that I kept continually asking myself this question: why is it that most people fail to build a successful property portfolio? And that's the reason why I'm doing this video today. Now, to get into the true value of this video, I need to start by asking you a simple question. And that simple question is, how many ways are there that you can make money from property? Now, the interesting thing is I created this program a number of years ago called 30 Ways in 30 Days. And the reason I created this program was to help people, when I started to host my networking event, to discover that there are more than just 2 ways to make money from property. Now, most people, traditionally educated like I was, believe that you can make money in property by buying a house and renting it out, or you can make money in property by buying a house and doing a flip, which is effectively making it a bit better and selling it on, or just selling it on. So I started a networking event having over 100 landlords coming in to the doors every single month. And I very quickly realized that they were the only 2 primary ways that most people were attempting to get paid. And it helped me realize that most of us had no idea of how many other strategies there were out there. And that's why I decided to create that program, 30 Ways in 30 Days. And what was interesting is, in the process of developing and creating the program, a more important question actually came out of that. And it wasn't how many ways can you make money in property, because what I actually did at the start of that program in the introduction is I explained that there are way more than the 30 ways that I'm explaining. And the only reason I was explaining those 30 ways is so people could broaden their minds. But as I discovered that there were way more than 30 ways to make money in property, I simply very quickly also discovered that there were only 3 types of money that you can make in property. And it was this discovery that really opened up the door to me and helped me start to actually have the discovery on why most people fail in their property investment journey. So I'm going to illustrate this for you so you can see it exactly as it is. Now, typically I illustrate this by using a triangle because it's the best way to really show you exactly what is going on. Now, the first type of money that you can make in property is known as equity. And most people know what equity is. So let me give you a very quick illustration to help you if this is something new to you, right? Now, equity is what I like to call as money stuck in bricks. And to simply illustrate this, I'll share with you a quick story. In the year 2017, my wife and I bought a property which a RICS surveyor, for those of you who don't know what RICS stands for, RICS is Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. They're the proper people that value properties, not estate agents. So a RICS surveyor came round to this house in 2017, looked at the whole house and said he valued that property at £240,000. Okay, so that was the valuation at the time the RICS surveyor valued the property. Now, literally a few months after that valuation, my wife and I bought that property for £136,000. Now, if you're anything like me and you're interested in numbers, you would see that that is a difference of £104,000. pounds. Now, if you're like me, you're probably getting a bit excited right now because you're realizing, well, hold on a minute, Samuel, are you telling me at the signing of a contract of one property purchase, you were able to lock in £100,000+ to your net worth? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. And if you even want to go deeper into this, if someone's able to do that just 10 times in a year, that person becomes a millionaire. Now, the challenging / interesting thing about that millionaire status is that, unfortunately, is still just money stuck in bricks, which means you can't go to Harrods and buy a brand new anything, to be honest with you. You can't go to an Aston Martin showroom and buy a brand new DB11, DB7. You're not able to do that. You can't go to Waitrose. You can't use this money to do anything whilst it's stuck in the bricks, because again, as I've defined, this is equity. It's money stuck in bricks. Now, the reason this is so important is because most people, and this kind of alludes to the initial aspect of why most people fail in their property journey, most people only truly understand equity as the value in property. So as a result, what happens is most people in their property journey are focusing on equity. They're chasing after equity. And as a result of chasing after equity, focusing on equity, they're left in a bit of a predicament. And that predicament is the fact that even if you have £1.04 million in bricks, that doesn't actually change your situation. That doesn't allow you to leave your employment. That doesn't allow you to live on your own terms. That doesn't allow you to spend more time with your grandchildren or your children or your spouse or your loved ones, right? So that's the first type of money that you can make in property, and that's known as equity, right? Now, going further, let's go into the second type of money that you can make in property, because the second type of money that you can make in property is known as profits. Now, what's interesting is Jim Rohn, the late great business philosopher, used to say profits are better than wages. And Samuel Akin-Wynne always says that profits are better than wages only when they come in the right stages. Now, if we break this down, what is a profit? So I'll give you a quick story in order to help you understand this. Now, if I was to go and buy a house in an area where 3-bedroom houses, and for those of you who are brand new to my videos or my content, whenever I draw a house, the number of windows illustrates how many bedrooms there are, right? So let's say I go and buy a 3-bedroom house in an area where a 3-bedroom house is costed at £100,000. And let's say this house I buy actually has a garage, okay? And let's say I decide to invest a further £20,000, and let's assume that the fees are included in this £20,000. And as I invest this further £20,000, I convert the garage into a bedroom. So I've now taken this from a 3-bedroom house and turned it into a 4-bedroom house. Now, interestingly enough, let's say this area where I've done this, we can buy or sell a 4-bedroom house for a minimum of £150,000, okay? So 4-bedroom houses in this area is £150,000. Now, if I decide to sell this property, I would be able to get a minimum, let's say based on these calculations, of £150,000, and then I can take away my initial investment. So if I take away my initial investment, which is £120,000, you guys let me know in the comments below, those of you who are quick with the maths, what is my pre-tax profit, okay? What's my pre-tax profit? Now, obviously, it doesn't take long to figure out that here, our pre-tax profit is £30,000. And for some people, the cha-ching sign or the cha-ching sound is literally going off, and that's okay. But what you have to understand is 2 very important factors. And this is why, like I said, Jim Rohn says profits are better than wages, but Samuel Akin-Wynne says profits are better than wages only when they come in the right stages, because that £30,000 is absolutely amazing. But the first thing that we need to remember is that you will never, ever, ever make another pound from that property ever again. And the reason you'll never ever make another pound from that property ever again is because you've sold it. The property's gone, okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is, because you've liquidated that asset, because you've got rid of that property and you'll never make another pound from that property again, you have to do all of that work all over again, okay? If you are attempting to replace an income, if you're someone who has a salary, let's say your salary is £60,000 in a year, in order for you to replace that £60,000, you need £60,000 coming in every single year, just like your salary, your paycheck is coming in every single month to accumulate to make your salary every single year. Now, What most people do who assume that profits are the way to generate revenue in property is they buy houses, they refurbish them, they buy houses, they level them up, and then they sell those properties. And there's nothing wrong with that if you understand that you're generating a profit, okay? So this is the second type of money you can make in property. And again, this is one of the types of revenue that most people focus on, okay? So now let me explain to you what the third type of money is that literally can be made using property as a vehicle. Now, that third type of money is known as cash flow. Now, I define cash flow as the residual recurring revenue that you and I have at our disposal. Cash flow is the money that keeps on coming. Now, I can do another video if that's helpful for you guys on a deep dive on what cash flow really is and how it's really created. And if you're interested in that, then just leave a comment below and let me know. But side by side with that, when you understand that cash flow is the third type of money you can make in property, everything changes for you. And as I've already defined, cash flow is the residual recurring revenue that we have at our disposal. So let me ask you a question right now. Now that you understand that there are only three types of money you can make in property: equity, profits, and cash flow, the question I want to ask you is, which of these do you think is the best to replace your monthly income? You see, the big challenge that's actually going on here is the fact that the reason most people fail in their property investment journey is because they're focused on the wrong thing. Now, many people, due to an illustration I'm going to show you right now, have focused on the wrong thing because they've actually been led astray by gurus and other people who are out there on the internet telling them how to do property, rather than actually assisting them with the strategic or the principle-based understanding of what goes on in property. Because once you understand the principles, once you understand the strategies, you can go and do it all on your own. You don't need hand-holding, you don't need anything like that. However, the reason people continually tend to need support is because they don't understand the underpinning principles or the underlying strategies. So let me share with you this last illustration to help you understand exactly what's going on here. Now, the way I like to explain this to most people is that the sun shines its rays on every single one of us, okay? And when the sun shines its rays, what do we get? Some people get the heat, some people get the light, okay? And some people get a tan or a burn, all right? Cool. So this is all a byproduct of the sun just shining its rays. However, there's a small group of people that don't only get the heat, they don't only get the light, they don't only get a tan, right? But they also get what you might call a laser. So the question is, who are the people that are able to get a laser from the same sun that other people just get heat from, and other people just get light from, and other people just get a tan from? And the answer to that is simple. They're the people that decide to use a specific tool, okay? Now, we know that tool to be a magnifying glass. And what does the magnifying glass allow us to do? It allows us to take those rays that are coming from the sun and focus those rays in a specific, particular direction. Now, the reason I like to use this illustration is because this illustration clearly demonstrates what's happening for the large, overwhelming majority of people in the property landscape. Now, most people hear one person say, buy low and sell high. And then they hear someone else say, buy high and sell low. And then they hear someone else say, don't even buy, just learn to control. And this is actually the issue, because the confusion is what creates the illusion. If you are attempting to buy property and make 100,000 in equity on your purchase, whilst also making 50,000 in profit when you sell the property, and at the same time you want to make £1,000 per month, what you're doing is you're lacking focus. You're lacking the one key instrument, the one key ingredient that allows the heat that everybody has, the light that everybody has, the tan that everybody can have, to become a laser that very few people have. And it's laser focusing on one out of these three types of money you can make in property that make the biggest difference. I submit to you that most of my clients who have elevated to a high level in their property investment journey have done so by making this single sole decision. And that single sole decision is to focus on one. With that being said, this is something I can win. I'm signing out. If you got value from this video, feel free to share your key takeaway down below. And side by side with that, why not go and watch the video that's now showing on the screen, because YouTube believes it will be of value to you and your team. With that being said, I'll see you another time, because small keys open up big big doors. Let's go.